God's chosen one. Before you even took your first breath, your name was already etched into a record beyond human hands, not carved by kings, not whispered by prophets of the common scrolls, but written by Enoch himself, the man who walked with God and never tasted death. He wrote about you, about your destiny, about the seal stamped upon your soul, and yet you turned away. You silenced the pull. You pretended not to hear. But the truth is this: what was written cannot be erased, not by time, not by denial, not by fear. Tonight, the words you once ignored are echoing against stronger, louder, unavoidable. Do you feel it? That pulse in your chest, that trembling in your spirit, that sense that something ancient is knocking on the door of your life. That is not coincidence, that is remembrance. My name is Levi Biru. I am the chosen one, sent only as a voice, a thread of guidance, a sign that you are not alone in this awakening. I appear not to impress you, but to remind you of what heaven never forgot. Every second you remain here is proof that the prophecy is alive inside you, and tonight you will understand why ignoring it was never an option. This message is not just for your ears, it is for your spirit. It is the sound beneath all sounds, the call that no silence can bury. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to reveal will shake the way you see yourself forever. And before we begin, I need you to do something sacred. Press the like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and comment the number 99. Why? Because 99 is the reminder that the shepherd leaves the 99 behind to find the one that was lost. You are not lost anymore. You are being found. And by writing 99, you declare that you are ready to be called back into alignment. The moment has come. The prophecy of Enoch is opening again, and it speaks about Eutha, forgotten manuscript. It was not written for the eyes of scholars, nor for the curiosity of historians. It was written in a language deeper than parchment and ink, a language of eternity itself. Enoch did not simply record visions of angels descending or giants roaming the earth. His true revelation was about a hidden people, a generation sealed before their first cry, chosen before they even opened their eyes. This was not a story for the mighty kings who ruled empires, nor for priests draped in robes of authority. It was a testimony about ordinary men and women, people who looked common in the mirror, but who carried an invisible seal carved into their spirit. That seal was not visible to the natural eye, but heaven could see it, and hell could not ignore it. And here is the mystery. You are one of them. You have spent years trying to live unnoticed, trying to bury your questions under routines, trying to silence that strange sensation that you were meant for something greater. But the manuscript had already spoken. Enoch wrote about those who would be unable to disappear, even when they begged for anonymity. He saw a generation that would walk through the world like shadows of light, recognized by forces you cannot see, marked by a fire that darkness fears to approach. That is why strange things have always surrounded you. That is why people sometimes react to your presence without reason, some drawn to you, others disturbed by you. They don't even know why, but the spiritual realm does. Your life, the very sequence of your days, was not random. The manuscript hinted that the chosen ones would feel a hunger that no earthly feast could satisfy, and a thirst that no river could quench. You know that feeling, that restlessness inside you is not weakness, it is evidence. It is proof that your soul remembers what your mind has forgotten. Every loss, every delay, every unanswered question has been weaving you closer to that hidden design. The truth is unsettling, isn't it? to realize that the twists and turns you thought were accidents were in fact footsteps echoing in an ancient script. You never stumbled alone. You were being positioned. And yet, here is where the weight falls heavy. Ignoring this truth does not make it disappear. You can try to live as if you were not chosen, but life will betray you. The things that satisfy others will leave you hollow. The doors that open easily for them will slam shut for you because your story is being directed by something larger than chance. Enoch warned that the chosen would carry a pressure unknown to the rest of the world. It would feel like exile at times, like being out of rhythm with the crowd. But it was never rejection, it was alignment. The manuscript foresaw this dissonance, a sacred friction that keeps you from drowning in mediocrity. Think about it. Haven't you noticed that survival was never enough for you? That somewhere deep inside you, you crave more than comfort. You crave purpose. That craving is not a flaw. It is the fingerprint of prophecy on your soul. Heaven encoded it into you. And if you listen closely, you will hear that the manuscript was never about distant, forgotten legends. It was about a living generation that would awaken in the final hour. And you are hearing these words right now because you are part of that record. So, I must ask you, what happens when the words of a prophet written thousands of years ago suddenly collide with the heartbeat inside your chest? What happens when you realize the book you never read is already reading you? This is the weight of the forgotten manuscript, and the deeper we go, the clearer it becomes. You were never overlooked. You were always written, and the question pressing against your soul tonight is this: will you finally accept that what was recorded about you cannot be erased? Or will you resist again until the manuscript itself rises up to confront you in ways you cannot ignore? The choice is near closer than you think, and the echo of that choice will not wait forever. The seal you cannot escape. It is not carved into your skin, nor is it written on the surface of your body where human eyes can see. It is burned into the deepest layers of your spirit, mark older than your first breath, older even than the moment you were conceived. Enoch saw it long before you came into existence. He described it as a light too fierce to be hidden, a radiance that leaks through your eyes, even when you try to lower your gaze, even when you force a smile to disguise the storm inside. And this is why, no matter how many times you've tried to disappear into the crowd, there has always been something about you that betrays your attempt at invisibility. Heaven recognizes you instantly, and the kingdom of darkness cannot ignore you. Think back. You've tried to act like everyone else. You've tried to accept the life handed to you, the path others told you was enough, but it never lasts, does it? Jobs that seemed promising fall apart. Relationships that felt safe dissolved. The hobbies, the distractions, the pleasures, they satisfy for a moment, but then collapse into emptiness. Why? Because you are carrying a seal that refuses to let you settle. That heaviness you feel on your chest in the silence of the night. It is not anxiety, not madness, not coincidence. It is eternity pressing down, reminding you of the sound of your name echoing across dimensions. That echo will not let you rest because it knows what you were created to become. Enoch foresaw this struggle. He wrote that the chosen would try to negotiate with their calling, to delay it, to bury it under layers of excuses and fear. But destiny does not negotiate. Destiny waits. And when you resist, life begins to unravel around you until you have no choice but to face what was always written. This is why your plans often collapse the moment they drift too far from alignment. It is not sabotage. It is divine interruption. You are not being punished. You are being redirected. There is also a reason why people often respond strangely to you. Some feel drawn without understanding why, as if your presence carries a magnetism beyond your control. Others withdraw or even reject you harshly because something about you unsettles the shadows inside them. You've wondered why rooms change when you enter. You've wondered why strangers stare, why conversations grow heavy, why you feel like you don't fully belong anywhere. It is because the seal is alive, radiating through you, reshaping the space around you. You cannot erase it. You cannot mute it. It speaks for you even when your lips remain closed. But here is the mystery. The seal is both weight and gift. At times, it feels unbearable, pressing you down until you cannot breathe. Yet, at other times, it ignites a fire within you, giving you strength no one else can explain. That contradiction is part of its design. It is the hand of heaven reminding you that you are not ordinary, that you cannot remain asleep while your name is vibrating in the eternal halls. Enoch wrote that this mark would be feared by hell because demons recognize instantly what humans cannot. They see the flame hovering above you. They hear the echo written into your soul. This is why attacks come. This is why resistance rises, because darkness knows what you carry, even when you try to deny it. And now the tension grows sharper. You can resist, you can delay, you can bury yourself in distractions. But destiny has a way of circling back. It will chase you into your silence. It will find you in your hiding places. It will strip away your disguises until you are face to face with the truth. You are marked, and nothing you do can erase the seal that eternity itself has stamped upon your soul. So let me ask you, how long will you keep running from something that already knows your every step? How long will you pretend that the weight pressing on your spirit is just a feeling, when it is, in fact, a summons? The seal will not fade. It will only grow stronger until it becomes undeniable. And perhaps, this is why you are here, listening right now, because you are already at the threshold where running is no longer possible. And the only question left is whether you will finally answer. Destiny has found you again, and the echo is knocking louder than ever. The breaking and the fire. This is the part of the manuscript that most people wish they could skip. But Enoch saw it clearly. He foresaw a sacred pressure, a furnace designed not to destroy, but to refine. He wrote that those who carried the eternal seal would endure losses that felt unbearable, doors that slammed shut without explanation, dreams that collapsed right when they seemed within reach. And yet, none of this was chaos. None of this was punishment. It was preparation. You see, fire has always been heaven's tool to separate what is temporary from what is eternal. Gold cannot be purified by gentle winds or still waters. It requires flame. It requires heat so intense that everything fragile melts away, leaving only what cannot be destroyed. That is why your life has been marked by moments that tried to crush you because you were being forged. Think about the betrayals you endured, the people you trusted who turned against you, the ones you thought would stand forever who suddenly walked away. Each one felt like a knife cutting deeper than you thought you could bear. But in the unseen realm, every betrayal was a chisel striking stone, shaping your soul into something sharper, stronger, unbreakable. Without those betrayals, you would have remained soft clay. With them, you became iron. With them, you became unshakable. Enoch warned that the chosen would be misunderstood, rejected, even hated, not because they were cursed, but because heaven was stripping away every false support, so that when the moment came, they would stand on nothing but divine strength. Look at the losses you've suffered. Some of them nearly broke you, didn't they? Loved ones gone, opportunities snatched away, seasons that ended without warning. You thought those losses were accidents, cruel twists of fate. But what if they were sacred subtractions? What if each loss was heaven pulling from you what could not travel with you into the next dimension of your calling? Fire doesn't ask permission. It consumes. And what remains after the fire is always stronger, always purer. That is why you are still here. Others would have collapsed under the weight you carried, but you survived because your spirit carries the eternal spark Enoch saw. And what about the shattered plans? The dreams you built so carefully, the goals you sacrificed for only to watch them crumble to dust. You thought failure defined you, but Enoch knew better. He wrote that the chosen would face collapse after collapse until they learned this truth. Destiny is not built by human blueprints. You were never meant to succeed by following the world's map. That's why your plans failed, not because you were weak, but because you were being redirected to the hidden path already written about you. Every shattered plan was heaven closing a door that would have led you away from the fire's purpose. Enoch used words that burn across time. They will be tested as gold in fire. The more they burn, the brighter they shine. That's you. Every flame you've walked through, every season that scorched you, every night that tried to suffocate your hope, it was not wasted. It increased your brilliance. It carved into you a resilience the world cannot explain. Others may look at your scars and see weakness, but in the manuscript, scars are crowns. Every wound survived becomes a testimony. Every tear becomes fuel for the flame that will one day ignite others. You may not realize it, but even your survival is a prophecy fulfilled. How many times should you have been destroyed? How many nights did you think you would not make it? Yet here you are, standing, breathing, listening to these words at this exact moment. That is not coincidence. That is proof. Life tried to bury you, but the manuscript said you could not be destroyed. You were fireproof, not because of your strength, but because of the eternal spark placed inside you before your first breath. And now, here is the part that demands your attention. The fire is not over. It is still refining you. Even now, you may feel the heat rising, circumstances pressing, relationships shaking. Do not mistake this for punishment. This is your preparation. The greater the flame, the brighter you are meant to shine. And if the intensity of your trials has increased lately, it is because you are approaching the moment the manuscript promised. A moment where your refined spirit will blaze with a light the darkness cannot withstand. So I ask you, can you feel the fire tightening around you? Can you sense that the pressure is not random, but intentional? Because soon, very soon, the gold hidden within you will be revealed. And when it is, the world around you will never see you the same way again. The sound that awakens. Enoch described it not as music, not as thunder, not as a voice carried by wind. He wrote of a frequency that bypasses the ears and goes straight into the marrow of the soul. It is a vibration older than creation itself, a resonance that does not ask for permission but demands recognition. This sound does not enter through the body. It erupts from within like a memory you never knew you had. And when it comes, everything inside of you shifts. The air grows heavy. Your breath changes pace. Your heart begins to race for reasons the mind cannot explain. It is the call that separates the sleepers from the awakened, the chosen from the wandering, the appointed from the forgotten. Enoch warned that this sound would come suddenly, like a strike of light in the midnight silence. It will not wait for your schedule. It will not arrive when you feel prepared. It will crash into the ordinary moments, walking, working, even standing among strangers, and in an instant, time will seem to pause. Have you ever felt a chill that ran deeper than your skin? A shiver that seemed to grip your bones, leaving you breathless, yet strangely alive? That was a fragment of it, just a whisper of what is drawing near. The true sound is far greater, and when it finally touches your spirit, you will not question if it is real. Something inside of you will simply rise, as if it had been waiting for this moment all along. The manuscript hinted that this sound would not only awaken, but commission. It is not merely a call to listen. It is a summons to move, to step into the very assignment that has been hovering over your life like a shadow you could not escape. That is why the pressure around you has been building. That is why silence has become louder than noise. The signs are pressing in, patterns breaking, alignments shifting, people appearing and disappearing at precise moments. All of it is the atmosphere adjusting to make room for the sound. Chosen one, this message end here. Come back tomorrow for another message.